Hello, and welcome to our podcast, Where the Dark Corners Are. Hello. I am Vina, and I am your Dark Travels hostess. Tonight, we have a
road trip with the Panda.
Do you want to say it?
Yeah.
So tonight we actually have an exceptionally special guest.
Exceptional.
Right?
Yeah,
Wow,
local
I'm
celebrity, I would
exceptional.
say.
I wouldn't say that.
Yes,
would say
a
that.
local
Yeah, everyone knows who
celebrity.
you are.
Yes.
Oh, everybody does. Huh?
I remember when I say your name, they're like, oh, he's going to be there? Yeah, so.
Thank you for buttering him up before
That's
I
right.
come on. That's great. I'm going to walk out here with a big old head. Can't get through the door.
So this is Aaron, and he is like a local celebrity. People know him.
It's a small town.
Well, yes.
That's right.
But we do vital stuff here.
Okay. Anybody can be a celebrity in this town. You guys are probably celebrities.
No.
No.
I think so.
I think we're known, but we're not
You're known.
celebrities. Yeah.
Right.
We don't have our own show.
You do.
You
We're
have
on your show. We're on it right now. All right.
Just once, I'd like for someone to ask for my autograph, and then I'll feel okay.
Okay. If it makes you feel better, if you can sign my little note.
Right.
Right?
On this blank check, thank you very much.
I like the way you think.
So tonight with Aaron here, this was your topic. This was your suggestion.
Yes, I really like these topics, and I really like what you guys do. First of all, I am honored to be here because I love your show. Mm-hmm. I think it's great.
Thank you.
My grandfather used to tell ghost stories all the time, so
Okay.
I love ghost stories and talking about stuff like what you guys kind of cover. So I feel kind of privileged to be here.
Which would probably be the reason why you chose this particular topic for this, one of two episodes.
Right.
So go ahead and introduce the topic.
Okay, so the reason why I thought this topic would be good because we all talk about movies.
Yes.
And you have movie posters like everywhere. I was like, hey, let's talk about Hollywood.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the
Well,
stuff
the
that happens.
Oscars just happened. Did you happen to catch the Oscars?
I don't watch award shows.
Yeah.
Do you,
Really?
you know?
It was really good, though.
Was it?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't watch it, so I had to watch recaps. But it was actually really kind of...
Was it?
It was
Okay.
good.
It did seem a bit festive.
Yeah, it was a bit more lively, a little more...
Okay.
Ryan Gosling carried it. Let's just say that. out
Really?
loud. Oh,
He
yeah.
did his
Was it his performance or was it Ryan Gosling?
Well, I think
It
combo.
was both, yeah. He did an award
Okay.
thing, and he did his song, I'm Just Ken, so...
Right. I wasn't a fan of the movie.
Oh, you
but
did like Barbie? Oh, okay. That's all right.
Am I
So
ousted?
thanks
Have
for
I been-
coming. Thanks for
I just
coming.
got ousted? I apologize.
No, I did have some issues with the movie myself.
So, okay. No, it was okay, but it just wasn't my favorite.
That's all right, yeah.
And I will say, although Cillian Murphy
Mm-hmm.
is an exceptional actor, I did feel like Oppenheimer was a little too long.
3 hours.
Movies are
yeah.
just too long. They're just
Yeah.
if anyone in Hollywood is listening, your movies are just too long.
Right.
But
But I am an avid, and I
Yeah.
always have been, an avid fan of Robert Downey Jr.
oh yes, he's great.
Yes.
Yes.
And he just won.
Yes.
His
He did.
First
Oscar. Yes.
Yes. Well deserved.
Right. But my most favorite role of him is... Oh, it just escaped me.
So
Is it Weird Science?
No.
was he in that one?
Yeah, he's the brother, or he's the friend.
Friend of the brother.
Friend of the brother. They're like him and the brother are like picking on the nerd brothers.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that's like one of his first roles. I'm imagining. I don't know him
Okay.
all the way back then.
Heart and Souls.
Heart
Oh,
and Soul.
Are you familiar with that movie?
Not that one. No, it sounds familiar, but
It's a
with
absolutely
him?
great Robert Downey Jr.
well, I know. But who's with him?
So Tom Sizemore, who unfortunately has just passed.
I forgot about. They showed the memoriam, and he saw him on there. I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alfred Woodard. I'm probably mispronouncing her name. She is a fabulous African American actress. Kira Cedric, who is, I hate to do this to her, but Kevin Bacon's wife.
Yes. Oh, we know.
And Charles Grodin, who I never forgave for not listening to Rosemary when she was trying to tell him something was wrong and Satan's cult was in her apartment. So, that's how long I never forgave him. But anyways.
Wow. Okay. So we're talking about Hollywood, ghosts of Hollywood, celebrities.
Correct. In the golden era, I think. Mine was a golden era.
Yeah, mine was kind of a little bit late. But
Yeah. I think all of our, because I think that's where, most foot traffic, I mean, there's foot traffic in Hollywood today, but back then it was even more. But
Right.
people, like famous people, a lot more than you see today. You're not going to see, today's James Dean walking around
Right.
today, L.A.
Or will you?
Oh, ayo.
Well, in researching my person, believe it or not, we've actually covered her prior, but I did not know this was a thing when we covered her. So I just was reflecting on how so much pressure was put on them to have the perfect image.
Oh, yes.
Outside the studios as well as inside the studios. In fact, I was reading how I believe Sammy Davis Jr., and, of course, we're talking a different time in American history. He actually fell in love with a white woman, a Caucasian woman, and wanted to marry her, but he was forced to marry a woman he didn't even care for.
Really?
Yes, because she was African American. So
Right.
it was not a good thing. In fact, I think big bad things came out of that scenario. But it's just a prime example of you will do what we tell you or you will be canceled.
Right.
But they didn't use that term back then, obviously.
Right.
So I was just thinking of how much image was very important in Hollywood.
Yes.
The concept of image. Because, some people are showing up in the Oscars in, like, their pajamas and whatnot. That would not have been a thing in Golden Age Hollywood.
Nope. Yeah.
So who wants to kick it off?
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
I'll be that guy.
That guy.
So I went with the TCL Chinese Theater.
Okay.
The most
really?
famous one.
Yes.
The most famous theater we all know. We all think of Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was originally built in 1927 by Sid Grauman for $2 million, which today's money is $28.7 million. And it was called Grauman's Theater back then, before going through various hands before ending up as the TCL Theater. The first movie to be shown there was The King of Kings. I've never seen it. It was a silent movie. Probably will never watch it. But hosted the Academy Awards from 1944 to 46 and was declared a historic landmark in 1968. It's most known for the infamous handprints and signatures in the concrete. The first one being Mary Pickford. I don't know who that is either. Well, I think I've seen her because she was like the silent age
Correct.
golden girl.
Yes.
Okay.
So
She and Clara Bow was the it girl, but
she was the
Wow,
it girl.
check you out. You got
Yeah.
your history down.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm impressed.
Well, yes. I mean, if you think of a silent movie, you've probably seen either one of them. It's just because they were probably the predominant actresses of the silent film.
Of the era.
No,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I do actually have a favorite silent film
Is
movie.
it the canary? Not the canary.
Yes, The Cat and the Canary.
The cat and the canary.
Yes.
Really?
Now, Bob Hope and Paulette Goodart did a remake, and that was pretty good. In fact, I will put that little baby on when I'm feeling
Well, Bob Hope is a great actor.
correct. But back to your
Well,
theater.
yeah, sorry. We can talk about the cat. It's okay. The Cat and the Canary is a great movie. There's. I remember watching it with you the first time, and it is actually really good, even though for a silent film. So you see the makeup's all like really dubbed on of white and albino. But in the premise of the movie, my favorite scene in this movie, hashtag spoilers from almost 100 years now.
If you haven't seen it.
Yeah, sorry.
You're out of luck.
So
Yeah.
there's this basically masked Scooby-Doo villain kind of guy, monster, who's been terrorizing these people in this house. And our main protagonist he's a wussy. He doesn't do it. He's the Shaggy of the Scooby-Doo gang.
Gotcha.
Correct.
I hate referencing Scooby-Doo to this, but it's the best way to do it. So the damsel in distress ends up being captured, and old boy lights up, and he just starts throwing hands. And in the silent action movies, they speed up the film.
Yes.
And so you see him just start throwing hands, and he gets knocked down. He keeps coming back up. I think it's a comedic thing. I hope it's a comedic thing because it's just funny. But it was so much fun that it was a good movie. That's my favorite scene in that movie when he's throwing hands with this
villain.
The villain, and it's just so funny to watch. But it's a good movie for even being a silent film. So, and like you said, it's been remastered at least once.
Correct. So Paul Lenny is the Scooby-Doo, the Shaggy of the movie, and he was, just like everyone else, but it's been remastered by Kino. And in fact, I own the DVD, but you can stream this movie, I think, on Amazon. So, but I'll put that baby on too. But I mean, you have to watch it because there's no talking.
Yeah,
They're not talking.
You have to watch.
Yeah.
There's no watching. You're looking at your cell phone with that one.
Yeah, you see their mouths move, and then it goes to the screen with the. It's wild to think that that's how it was, but I mean, it kept the attention at least.
Yeah.
Right. They had no cell phones, but you couldn't even look at your cell phones back then because you had to watch to see what they were saying to each other.
Yeah.
So either way, the Chinese theater. So there has been multiple sightings there. They believe one of the ghosts that happened to be there was actor Victor Killian. He starred over 127 films, but until he was put on the Hollywood blacklist to basically end his career, but was reduced to smaller roles onto TV, which he would actually be more predominantly known for in his TV roles. But by then he's already older, so he always plays a lot of old roles, and it's back then like Gunsmoke and everything like that. It's the same kind of role of the old man Jones down the road or whatever.
Right. No real acting arcs.
Right. So he's, a steady job. I mean, he did Broadway for a little bit after being blacklisted, but at the age of 88 in 1979, story goes he met someone at a bar and they ended up walking by the TCL Theater, going back towards his apartment, and then he was murdered and robbed. So at the age of 88, he was taken advantage of and killed. So the sites, they state that he's still at the TCL Theater roaming around as the ghostly shadow and just kind of hanging out with another ghost named Fritz, they call. Fritz is allegedly a stagehand or someone who helped with the theater when, after a couple of weeks after opening, ended up hanging himself in the back.
Oh.
So what they claim, all the workers and guests that show up there for tours, but you could take tours here if you're curious. They see the screen violently shake from the corner, ripples effects, noises throughout the whole theater. They filled these rooms that used to have buzzers so they could call for attendance to come up. So the buzzers no longer work, but the workers still hear buzzing noises and everything. So they say in the dressing rooms, things are falling from the ceiling, and right before they fall, they mysteriously vanish. They don't know what's going on. And then one room in the basement, of all places, is felt to have an invisible, foreboding presence. This is quoted every time when I found it. So I don't know if you want to go in the ladies' room down there. That's where it is, the ladies' room in the basement. So I don't know if you want to go down there, but
okay,
you're doing your business and you have a visible, foreboding presence.
And nobody likes, being interrupted. So
right.
Well, it might help you go a little bit better.
Yeah, get out, get your business done, and get out.
I'm done. Wow.
So, but like I said, that's the TCL Theater, the Chinese theater. They actually imported stuff from China to come make this building, like the statues and stuff. It was made in China and brought over, so it's supposed to bring good luck. But now it's all it has is ghosts. So, but it's still open.
They're not evil ghosts, are they?
No, there's been no accounts of
hurt
foreplay. Not foreplay. I'm sorry.
That's a different show.
Yeah, sorry.
you slip there, sir.
Foul play. So, but no harmful events, just a lot of gimmicks running around. So it sounds like they're pretty chill. They just want to hang out and watch movies with the rest of them.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's good luck. That's not bad luck.
Well,
Now, if you've seen Blazing Saddles, this is the theater they go to, correct?
yeah, so there's plenty of movies that
Showcase it?
like Rush Hour. That he takes them over there, and then you have he goes to interrogate Chris Tucker takes over there to interrogate one of the hustlers in front of the theater. You see it there. I mean, there's various movies where it's been referenced, and like you said, Blazing Saddles.
Right.
Wow.
Are you familiar?
You guys really know your movie history stuff.
Oh, don't get
Wow,
it
you guys
started.
don't mess around.
No.
Wow.
No, there's plenty of other people that are cinephiles and have way more information. I follow some of the people on TikTok or whatever.
Really?
So it's a crazy thing.
Wow.
So, but yeah, that was mine, the TCL Theater, and they still do movies. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a thing to show, but they actually still show theaters. And
You know, I actually think they used to host the Oscars there.
right, like I
Yeah.
said, they did the Academy Awards, 44 to 46.
Okay.
So
I must have not paid attention at
sorry,
that point.
it's okay.
Wake up.
But yeah, they have an IMAX in there. They revamped it, so it's ready to go. So I mean, you just have to get through all the crowd of people there. That's why it only has 4 stars because it's so crowded.
Oh,
Really?
too many tourists.
Tourists.
Oh,
yeah.
tourists. Okay, gotcha. Okay, that still sounds cool though.
All right, Aaron,
Okay.
what you got?
All right. So I did some, everybody knows James Dean.
Right.
I did James Dean. But there's so much. The reason why I chose James Dean because I didn't know about his car.
Okay.
Right.
Because I love his car. You know, he had the 550 Spider Porsche.
So, and it's the car he dies in.
It's the car he dies
Spoilers.
in. I know.
Damn it, Vina.
Let me get through the story first.
Yeah.
Thanks for ruining it.
Yeah. But here's the thing. When he bought it, the guy who sold it to him, he says, "You will die in this car." He died a week later.
Really?
Yeah, in that car. He bought it specifically to go to a race in Salinas. And on his way
To race or just to go?
It's a race.
there's a race in Salinas. So he was
Okay.
driving this car over there with his mechanic, a German Porsche mechanic, Rolf. I don't know. Can you pronounce that name right there?
Well, we just make stuff up as we go
Oh,
along.
we just
but
made up
Yeah, we just
Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
He's German.
I would go with Werther Itch.
Worth a rich. Anyway, so him and his mechanic jump in the car and they off they go. And they're speeding from LA to Salinas Valley, and they even get pulled over once, which records how fast they got from being pulled over to when the accident happened. He was moving.
Oh yeah.
Even to the point where even his mechanic's like, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. You're going too fast. And in the intersection, when a sedan was coming in the opposite direction and started to turn, his mechanic told him, like, you got to slow down. He's going to pull in front of you. He's like, and James Dean apparently said, no, he'll see us. And apparently he didn't. It was a student who just made he didn't expect him to go or be going that fast and just slammed into him. So killing James Dean instantly. However, more about the car really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So this car, I guess the guy he bought it from knew there was something going on with it, said that this car was cursed. So the car was purchased by a man, and so he took the engine out and put it into a race car, took the transmission, put it in another race car. And both cars within a week were in severe accidents where one of the drivers received serious injury and the other one died.
And that was the car with the engine part.
Yes, with that came out of James Dean's 55 Spider.
Right. They were
550
gonna
Spider.
salvage some of the parts.
Yeah, they were
from the
salvaging
car.
parts. And then they also took the tires. The tires went to other places. And so each place that these tires went, they went to two different places. Both places caught on fire.
Okay. So put the car back and park it.
Yeah, well, they did that for a minute. So they were moving it around. And while they were moving it, the guy who bought the car as a wreck, he was moving it to another garage. And as it came down, it rolled off the ramp and smashed a mechanic, severing his legs.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Park this fucking car.
No. So and then after that they decided to use the car for like an education, kind of like don't drive unsafe, kind of like a car, like here's what could happen to you, right? And both times when they take it somewhere, the place catches on fire.
Oh my God!
Checks out.
Yeah. So finally, the car was just taken by railroad to some place. It was on a railroad car, and they put it on the car in one destination. I forget where they put it on, but it was going to another destination. But before it got there, it was gone.
Oh.
It just disappeared.
It probably caught on fire and just burned.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to take myself off this train.
So then, many years later, someone put out $1 million reward for it. Hey, if anyone knows where this car is, we'll give you $1 million. So someone came forward and said, hey, I know where that is. My dad stole that car, but he put it in a spot where I don't know why people steal things just to put them away.
Right.
So you say, hey, I have that, I
Yeah.
guess, but
Right.
I'm never going to show anybody.
Well, they want to lose the heat when they forget
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what happened. He stashed it, and he kind of like buried it behind some wall or something like that. And so the guy was like, I know where the car is, and I can show you where it is. Well, they refused to give the guy the $1 million, so he refused to show him where it was, and he ended up dying, so no one actually knows where this car is.
Oh, that's terrible. Well,
Yes.
maybe it's for the best.
Maybe it's for the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Maybe it's for the best because this car. Well, I figure the place is going to burn down anyway. So
That's
we'll
the
find out
car.
someday
Yeah.
when it gets burnt down.
Just right when
Oh,
the
hey,
unknown fire
yeah,
happens.
There's where that car is. So anyway, James Dean was buried in a gravesite, Park Cemetery in Fairmount, Indiana, on a small hilltop. And some people say that James Dean ghost is not
At rest?
at rest because at the time, some people think he was a little bit suicidal at that time, and that's why he was going a little nuts, right? Going back to what you were talking about earlier about how Hollywood is, he felt like Hollywood was just overpressuring him to be this and do that, date that person. Paul Newman introduced him to this model who was going into acting, and she decided to break it off, and that really
Brought him down. Yeah.
It brought him down hard. And
Who dumps James Dean?
I know. Well,
I mean,
if you're a supermodel,
he's like the
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. I mean,
supermodels do, Vina.
Yeah, they do what they
Supermodels
want to do.
when you got it like that, you can dump anybody, I guess. So he was feeling down, and that's why he was speeding so fast, because he just didn't care. And so
Okay.
that's why they feel that he may have been not at rest, because he had such a broken heart.
oh,
Now, some people say if you leave because he was a heavy smoker,
okay.
they say if you leave a cigarette on his tombstone, you'll come and leave for a minute. You have to do it at night, apparently. If you leave and come back, you'll see it lit.
Really?
Yeah.
Per the legend.
Per the legend.
Okay.
And some people are like, and sometimes it disappears. I'm like, well, that could be, the wind could have blown it away.
Yeah, so we can just take that. Yeah,
that doesn't
some
mean-
bum on the road.
Yeah. Hey, look, a free cigarette. So to me-
Somebody left one here.
but that's in like every account. Like sometimes it disappears. I'm like, so that's in every account, but to me that doesn't mean anything, because a bird could have taken it, put it in a nest. I don't
Right,
know.
right.
So, but anyway, that's in every account of it. You leave and come back for a minute, and it'll be lit or missing.
Okay.
So the missing doesn't play weight on
Kinda-
me, but it lit.
Kind of sounds like an idea for a paranormal investigator. Set
Oh.
up a tripod camera, let the cameras roll, leave the SIG, and
Yeah.
walk away.
There you go. See,
Yeah, I know.
there you go. You need to.
I
take a
got
trip
good
to-
instincts,
You got to take a trip to Indiana.
right? Just for the sole purpose.
Yes. Oh, and some people say where the car wrecked, you can see him speeding by in that Porsche,
Right. Oh, the
yeah.
ghost
Just
of.
reliving that moment, huh?
reliving the moment.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Quick tidbit about that. About your story was that, as I think the person who told him was going to die is Sir Alec Guinness.
Really?
I think that's the tidbit to that. You have to probably follow up on that. But when I was looking, because we researched for this, I saw that story and I was like, "Oh, the story's actually really cool." The James Dean, I
Yeah.
had no idea about the whole thing. And then I think they said Alec Guinness is the one who told him he was going to die
Yeah.
if you drive this car. So I was like, "Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi's spitting wisdom."
Oh, wow. Very cool. Also, I forgot to mention when they were unloading it for the car for a demonstration, like those education, like hey,
Right.
it also fell off the racks and hit a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's just
I
angry.
hope they just stop showing it around kids. I mean,
we should really stop showing this
Yeah.
car. Put it on a train, send it back, and then it disappears.
so there's a heist for you.
There you go.
Now, mine, so, I mean, we've done a great job of doing variety parts related to glitz and glamour Hollywood, but mine is an actual person. Now, we actually covered her in our first Mommy Dearest episode. Do you know who Mommy Dearest is?
No, but
Oh my
No,
God.
I think
you don't have to watch it. It's fine.
It's a movie. You talking about a movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've seen the movie, but it's been a long time.
So Joan Crawford.
Okay.
So we do, about Mother's Day, we do Mommy Dearest episodes.
Okay.
Because sometimes moms just ain't right in the head. And
Just sometimes?
yeah.
Okay. Noted.
Apparently we're dipping into Aaron's childhood, folks. Anywho. So she was the subject of our first Mommy Dearest episode.
Okay.
And obviously based on the movie Mommy Dearest, which is based on the book done by her adopted daughter, Christina. I don't think she goes by Crawford. But anyways, so my ghost story is actually Joan Crawford. So just a little recap. Joan Crawford was born in San Antonio, Texas on March 23rd, 1904. She, of course, would become the Hollywood legend that we know her as. But like I said before, she's the original Mommy Dearest. Now, she will die on May 10th, 1977 in Manhattan at the age of 73. Now, again, a little recap. During her golden days of Hollywood, she'd actually go on to adopt 3 children, 2 Christophers and Christina. Oh. And yeah, I know. The first Christopher she adopts, the mother wanted the child back, and so Joan handed the baby back. But she adopted another little boy named Christopher and Christina. And they all lived at 426 North Bristol Avenue in Los Angeles. And when she bought the property, it was kind of just like this little cottage shack, kind of, not really shack, but just this small building. And Crawford actually builds up the house and makes it the house that, is glamorized. And, for Christina, it's house where, reported child abuse happens. Either way, so while they're living in the house, Christina, Christopher, and Joan, they themselves will say that they actually had some experiences that made them believe that the house was actually haunted. In fact, she will share her experiences in the book that she wrote and in interviews regarding her childhood being haunted by these malevolent spirits, and to the point where like strange things will happen. She'll see entities appear, and she was so afraid to even say something to her mother because her mother would be like, "No more wire ghosts, Christina." And so she was afraid to even say something. But they all had problems already. Now, after her mom dies, or I'm not sure when the house gets sold, but the house eventually starts getting sold, and the new owners start experiencing fire outbreaks, just some random fire outbreaks. They will hear children crying in the walls. And it got to the point where the homeowners would actually do an exorcist of the property, because it's just like, this isn't holy. This is rather unholy. And Christina would say that she felt that she would hear like the energy in the situation was primarily coming from the wall where Joan Crawford's bed was, like the headboard was up against. So some people think, well, maybe if it's true, bad things were coming through the wall and affecting Joan Crawford, that might have led to her erratic behavior. But again, ghost hunters have been there. House healers, I'm not sure what that is, but I guess we could speculate.
Yeah.
Have been there, and they are all like, there's something not right here. And the curious part is that people who have purchased the house, it's like bad things happen to the owners. They have a sicknesses that they're just, they kind of out of nowhere, alcoholism, addictions. They just have relationship problems. And again, spontaneous fires in the house.
Wow.
So a lot of bad juju is happening. And some people think it's not Joan. Other people think it is Joan. I mean, if you built something and you loved it, I can see her coming back just on the premise of, well, I built this house. It's my house. And so, but nothing seems to have worked or, I mean, they had multiple exorcists done to the house. So it's just very interesting that with the history, I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again. When bad things happen on the land, it leaves bad juju. And to quote Christina, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if the haunting spirit in that house is Crawford. She was definitely capable of real evil. So, end quote. Wow. So, yeah.
Sounds like the premise of Haunting on Hill House.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah, where the dad or the grandpa or the old guy was just torturing all the children. Which Hill House are you talking about?
I didn't finish the show, so I'm still watching it. I don't know the full story about the spirits.
Okay.
Way to kill it for him. Spoiler alert.
Okay, so no.
I just meant the experiences that the kids were going through. It sounded a lot like that. Because that's why I'm watching the show. I mean, it's older, so I should be done by now, yes.
No. Okay. So the Haunting of Hill House is amazing. I mean, I'm not going to say anymore.
You can still talk about it. It's fine.
I was referencing the movie with Owen Wilson and Liam Neeson, the House on Hill House.
Haunting on Hill House?
Something like that, yeah. It's a terrible movie.
Liam Neeson and Owen Wilson in a scary movie?
Yes.
Wow.
It's got the mom from The Conjuring. It's got Michael Douglas's wife.
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yes.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Liam Neeson.
Yes.
In the same movie.
Yes, and it's a horrible movie.
Like horror or horrible?
He doesn't get to call the ghost up and say, I will find you.
What is this movie?
Yes.
Owen Wilson.
See, and the fact that it's so horrible, I didn't even show you this movie.
Well, you showed me like some other movies.
Okay, get over Time Bandits. Have you seen Time Bandits?
Oh, man, that's been a while.
Okay, well, this is a horrible movie, but since I was scarred, I figured I would.
Oh my gosh, it's real. It's called The Haunting.
The Haunting.
Oh, The Haunting.
Yes.
It's got a 5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a terrible
28% audience score. But it literally has Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, Liam Neeson, Lily Taylor.
That's the mom.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I never heard of this movie.
Don't watch it.
The Mansion of Hill House, who have been called to isolated location by blah, 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 as a part of study of insomnia. Oh.
Right. So, but all of these movies are actually based on Shirley Jackson's novel, The Haunting of Hill House. So, but I mean, these are all remakes, you understand. There was an original one.
Right.
And I cannot think of the main actor and actresses, but I have seen the movie. It was actually pretty decent. And, that's the thing. I mean, we're so spoiled and used to jumps and, special effects.
Yeah.
When we look at the older movies for special effects, I mean, we talked about Cat and the Canary. The original, the silent film, you could see like the line, exactly the wires.
Yep.
And you're just
that, though.
I know.
I love that.
It's fun.
I mean, but you just have to kind of just appreciate and recognize it is what it is.
Right.
I just recently watched The Blob with, oh my God, Steve, he was a hottie.
McQueen?
Yes.
Steve McQueen?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was in The Blob?
Yeah, he was in the original Blob.
Really?
He was like 26 trying to play this high schooler.
It's just Grease, baby.
And I was like, I don't know about this movie. Because the Blob's kind of cheesy. And then there's this moment where his girl is being attacked by the Blob in the grocery store. And he launches himself over the aisle. And you're like, oh, okay. It's all right. So they kind of make it up for it with the hotties. But either way.
That's what horror movies are for, is hotties. That's all you're there for.
Well, and this was his, opening
Breakout role.
His breakout role, his first major role.
Wow.
And I mean, then he becomes Steve McQueen from
Steve
there.
McQueen.
Yes.
So you know he's driving a bullet.
That's right.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. So, well, that's it. That is what we have for you tonight. On to business.
Oh, he's not here. Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You should definitely come check it out. Post, comment, concerns, anything you want to say on there.
Concerns?
Yeah, concerns
Okay.
about anything. It's okay.
Yeah.
You guys get a lot of concerns?
Not as many as we hope for.
No.
Okay.
But if you have a topic that you would like us to cover or a serial killer you'd like Sierra or us to cover, send us a request at Panda's favorite email, where the dark corners are at gmail.com, and corners is plural. Final thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of stuff I think we could have chosen from, like Jim Belushi? John Belushi. John Belushi.
Yep.
John Belushi. I guess he
Yeah.
haunts the hotel where he died
Yes.
at. There's just so many things you could choose from this topic. So maybe we'll come back and visit it. Or I mean, I'm sure there's other stories out there that someone could mention to us. But
You know, there was a zoo. It's abandoned now, but in Hollywood Park, that's actually a topic of itself. But there was a zoo there, and it was not the best zoo. But people swear they hear the animals still in the zoo.
Really?
Yes.
no,
I know.
Ghosts of the animals.
Yes.
I think we did do zoos one time.
I'm not sure.
It was like a long time ago.
Probably.
I think it was amusement parks is what we did.
Still not sure.
All right.
Okay, final thoughts, Aaron.
I thought it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed hearing what you guys brought together. And I heard yours, Michael. I've heard some of that stuff. And it was interesting finding out more about Joan Crawford and how crazy she was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Crazy town. So, yeah, that's cool stuff.
If you haven't seen Mommy Dearest,
I think it's been a while. I may have seen
Okay.
it, but it's been a long
You
while.
don't need to watch it.
I'm
It's
50.
not.
I'm 51 years old. There's movies I've seen when I was a youngster that I'm like, okay, maybe I've seen that. I don't know. So,
all right. So until next time, please remember, only the few can find the beauty in the darkness, which is where we hope to meet you, where the dark corners are.